The battle of the TCG exclusive just ended in YCS Lille 2025, the first YCS of the competitive season, and we have a really surprising winner here, Apophis Primite. Yes, the Odion deck that is based on traps that summon themselves from the spell and trap zone. A competitor that has topped his first ever YCS goes on to win the entire event, which is nothing short of amazing. So as I mentioned, yeah, Battle of the TCG exclusive. This was the event for Mitsurugi, but also sneaking in, kind of unnoticed, is actually Odion and the Apophis strategy, which has seen success in the past. The deck is really strong going first, with multiple layers of interruption and negates that don't target. Pretty insane that we have a finals that is made out of two TCG exclusive archetypes that have been released in recent years. Obviously, Mitsurugi is a no-brainer. This was one of the top picks for this upcoming format. Of course, after the Forbidden and Limited list, we didn't see almost any Vanquish Soul. We'll talk about the breakdown in a second, but this is the story of the day. And of course, we had the finals here with Philip Weidinger versus Diego Z on Apophis Primite, which later on stream, by the way, was changed to Apophis Dominus because his deck played all of the Dominus cards, Songs of the Dominators, Impulse, and Purge, lots of hand traps, the Primite package, of course, Psy-Frames, which also combine with Primite because Driver is, of course, a normal monster. Pretty insane scenes. We'll cover everything in just a second. We'll show a few matches as well. First of all, this is the top 8 players of the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship in Lille, of course. Less notable players, even though all of them are great players on their own right. Of course, we have Philip Weidinger winning a regional, I think, last weekend, but none of the big names that we've expected to see. And this is the first time that YCSs are run in a top 8 only setting. This is basically a new way that YCSs and tournaments are going to run from now on, where there are basically like 14-15 Swiss rounds and we only cut to top 8. Of course, top 64 get prizing, but single elimination is only from top 8. So these are those top 8 duelists. And yeah, we are seeing less of the big pros, but this is not necessarily a bad thing at all. Just a little bit of a different way that the system is working on from now on. Top 8 breakdown, we'll dive into that in a second as well, but basically what we see here is that Mitsurugi and Yami are the two best positioned decks. Of course, Mitsurugi basically unhit on the Forbidden and Limited list and getting some additional support from some more floodgates that are really strong in this format, and Yami getting new support, of course. Draco Tail, another deck that has not been hit on the ban list at all, and Odion, which is just like, yeah, there's one in top 64, and he won the entire event. Lunalight is here, Orcust is here, Malice is still here, Fire King, Crystron also still here, and Mitsurugi basically taking up the majority of the top 64. A deck that is very versatile, can play a lot of non-engine, has a really good engine, and of course can just access so many different broken things like Fossil Dyna, Baguska, Rank 4 Toolbox, just an insane deck. And of course run Impulse, and also Super Polymerization was really strong in this format. Shout out to Jordan. We also had a YCS top 8 competitor with Draco Tail, the pure version, but Jordan, very successful and accomplished player on his own right, I think from Scotland, making top 16 YCS Lille with a deck that I thought this channel's viewers would like to see. So check him out on Twitter, of course, but this is branded Draco Tail. 40 cards, hand traps, and a very small package of branded cards with 2 branded fusion, Cartesia, and Fallen of Albaz. You can access Albaz with Heavenly Spheres, for example, but branded fusion can do a lot of really nice things now that we have Draco Tail Frixol, which is a light monster. You can send it to the graveyard with branded fusion to go into a little bit better lines, and also can just access Sanctifier on the spot. Then Sanctifier on the opponent's turn can summon the Frixol, get you 5 mana back to hand. It's actually really cool. Another thing that this deck can do is out Lunalight Liger Dancer with, of course, Titanic Lad. If you fuse Albaz and Nibiru, it makes an unaffected Titanic Lad that is like 4,000 attack or something. And of course, Jizukiru the Kaiju, which you can also access with Branded Fusion, and you just bounce it back to the hand with Artalion. Playing the new trap, playing Frixol. Really cool, and congratulations. We're going to cook this deck. Don't worry, guys. Day 1 and Day 2 breakdown. What we're seeing here is that Day 1 we have pretty good conversion rate for Dracotail. We have Yummy and Dracotail at 14%, the most represented decks in the beginning of the tournament, of course. Mitsurugi follows. Vanquish Soul Canine, still 4%, didn't make it all the way to even top 64, I think. Maybe one, but I don't think I missed it. Crystron, Lunalight, and Sky Strikers, and of course, a lot of others. But Dracotail actually having a positive conversion rate from 14% to 17% on day 2 shows you the deck has legs. A lot of people like to bash it, but yeah. And of course, we mentioned the top 8 earlier, Mitsurugi, Yummy, Mitsurugi, Yummy as well. Just a combined version of both of these decks. These are the decks to beat. Mitsurugi, especially with what we'll see in a second, is a threat for sure. Dracotail and Apophis Primate, who ends up taking the entire event. So, a little bit about the Mitsurugi strategy now that we have kind of died down from the last format. As you can see, this is the end board of an uninterrupted Mitsurugi combo, and you can see a monster under the rightmost extra monster zone. It is Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. This card is a level 4 rock monster, which you can add off of Gallant Granite, which is the middle Xyz here on the field. Without normal summoning, you can get to so many things in Mitsurugi, obviously, because you have cards that special summon from the deck, and you ritual summon, yada yada yada. And eventually you go into rank 4, Gallant Granite, search for Fossil Dyna, and Fossil Dyna is like a 1200 attack monster that you just normal summon. Neither player can special summon monsters, so essentially you have to deal with that. It is backed up, of course, by the trap, which you'll see in a second as well. You just negate it, negate the only out that your opponent may have, and Philip did try to play here, of course, but this is what Mitsurugi has come to. This is not new. This was also a meme back in the day with like the Fossil Dyna spreadsheet combo, but yeah, you have to take this into consideration when you're playing. Hand traps is probably the answer here, or just like, you know, Dark Ruler still works in this format, Raigeki, Lightning Storm, and stuff like that, but it is backed up by Interruption with cards like Mitsurugi, Great Purification, and you're just going to have to deal with that and understand how to build your deck. Of course, we're going to do this here on the channel as well. Then we have some interesting, we have Diego here who won the event. This is top 8 versus Yummy. Of course, Yummy getting a significant boost with another 3 of main deck monster, which is very, very good. Can finally recycle the field spell from the banishment. And it is still a really cool deck and a really good deck. Herald of the Arclight is still legal at 1. I think this card should be banned, being also a Floodgate and an Omni Negate. Pretty much unheard of, and now there's a deck that can access it consistently, and it makes it very, very awkward. We've seen Shifter in this tournament, even by Mitsurugi players who don't really care about banishing, because they still trigger their effect. And then another pretty strong tech card that is coming in this format is going to be Psyframe Gear Delta, which, as you can see here on the left side of the field, it is a Psyframe for spells. So Mitsurugi Ritual and stuff like that, you just negate it from the hand, in addition to you pair it with another interruption like Imperm, Purge, Ash Blossom, Bell, and you kind of stop Mitsurugi in their tracks, and that is pretty crucial when you're dealing with Fossil Dyna. And yeah, the finals here was kind of one-sided. Apophis did win the die roll. This is a trap deck that goes first, sets up a set 4, basically, Dominus cards. Philip honestly bricking game 1, winning game 2 pretty convincingly, like just outgassing his opponent really, really quickly. But at the end of the day, game 3, Apophis goes first. And again, Philip not opening the best hands, not a lot of starters, hand traps that are just stuck to the hand because this deck doesn't have a really good hand trap spot, the Apophis deck. And eventually, Apophis Primate wins it all. Is this the best deck? It is absolutely not the best deck of the format. I think Mitsurugi and Yami are still placed so much better. Not really die roll reliant, so much more consistent. Yeah, Drill Beam here was just insane. Poor Philip. But it is not the best deck. It is a really, really good pick. There were a few people on Apophis Primate, but eventually only one takes it. But you can see that this was the only deck in top 64 playing Apophis Primate. He won the entire event. He was first in Swiss. So guys, this is something to pay attention to for sure. This was YCS Lille 2025. We'll be back to Lille probably next year as well. Yeah, leave your comments below. Thoughts on this Apophis Primate, the new best deck, maybe, I don't know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.